Rise and Rhythm Cruise is back January 14th through the 18th, 2027. Martin Luther King Jr. Day weekend. Set sail from Miami aboard the Norwegian Jewel for 4 nights of music, inspiration, and the Bahamas. Mary, Kim, Fred Hammond, Shirley Caesar, King George, Madison Ryan Ward, actor and comedian Anthony Anderson, faith leaders Pastor Keon Henderson and Lady Shani Henderson, Willie Moore Jr., and more. Get your tickets now at riseandrhythmcruise.com.
What's happening? It's your man Kim in the house, and you're watching We Sound Crazy. I used to, when I came out, and with some of the critics, when I was listening to what critics said, and they say that Kim is a whiner. He's whining. And I told the critics, I'm whining all the way to the bank. That's what I'm talking about. Right?
All the way to the bank, bro. All the way to the bank.
Right, bro.
All the way to the bank, bro.
Welcome to another week of We Sound Crazy, your official backstage pass to all things music and culture. I am Phillionaire, your TV, film, music executive extraordinaire.
What's good, y'all? It's Claude Kelly, hit singer, songwriter, and one half of Louis York with this gentleman over there.
Yes, I'm Chuck Harmony. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, and the other half of Louis York.
Crazy crew, y'all know who it is. Bacon from Macon, music exec, and your true music aficionado.
With hits like Love Calls to I Can't Stop Loving You to Share My Life, some would say he might be one of the last few true crooners in R&B. But it's easy to see why his name is already cemented in R&B history. He's an accomplished singer, songwriter, author, philanthropist, and true inspiration. Please help us welcome the incomparable Kim.
Oh, welcome to the show, brother.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's an honor.
And shout out to my whole family, because I know they're watching right now. My entire family, everybody, cousins, they watching. You are literally the person that I've had to buy more concert tickets for than anybody in recent years. I'm serious. Like, I've given you thousands of dollars, thousands upon thousands.
You want to give it back right now?
No, but he's giving it back, right? You know what I mean? But thank you, and just shout out. But I know they're watching. But thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You're kind of mysterious. You got that Sade vibe, so I feel like I'm honored to have the R&B king, and one of the R&B kings in my opinion, but someone that doesn't really do a lot of talking. You do a lot of showing. Yeah. So we want to get into the greatness of your career and your life, because there's a lot to talk about.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
So we're going to kick it off with viewer questions. People knew you were coming to the show. They were excited, and we had a few viewer questions. They wanted to ask you questions directly. Okay. We'll take it to Kim from Dallas, Texas.
Hi, I'm Kim from Dallas. So you've had the opportunity to collaborate with some incredible female artists like Toni Braxton, Jill Scott, Erica Campbell, and Marsha Ambrosius. Looking back, which collab is your favorite? And out of today's new female R&B singers, who is still on your dream collaboration list?
Wow. I'll start with the last question first. My dream collaboration list at the top would be Sade.
Ooh, yeah. Crazy.
Absolutely. Yes. And I think that of all my collaborations with, and she left out Lettucey and Chrisette Michelle, and I love them all. I love them all. I love their contribution to those particular songs. They stand by themselves. I wouldn't put one above the other.
Okay. You're one of the few people that I would love to hear a Sade duet with. Like, this makes total sense. Yeah. That makes total sense.
Yeah, and that's what I was, when I first started, it was like, that's what I was, musically, I would probably consider myself on a good day, probably Sade's male counterpart. Music.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that lives forever. That means.
So somebody holler at Sade for you.
Someone call Sade. We have another question from Reggie from Atlanta.
Hey, you've written so many songs throughout your career. Is there one particular song that you're most proud of? And on the flip side of that, is there a song recently or a classic from back in the day that you wish you had written because it's like just that good?
Last question first. Footsteps in the Dark. Bonnie Raitt, I Can't Make You Love Me.
Yeah.
My man, Suffocate. Who's Jay Holiday?
Written by the Dream.
Written by the Dream, yeah.
Right. Of my songs, my favorite song would probably have to be Love Calls. Mm-hmm. And because Love Calls is the one that, got me in here sitting with y'all. Right. That's the one that put me on. Right, my first #1 record. Yeah.
We got another question from Robert Baldwin from Ghana.
Wow.
Hi, my name is Bobby from Ghana, and my question is in relationship to you having been signed to a major label for most of your career and now having transitioned to being an independent artist. And what challenges have come with that transition? Also, would you now encourage younger artists coming up to seek major label support, or would you encourage that they go the independent route?
Oh, wow. That's a really great question. And I think what a lot of people miss, I was signed to Motown for 23 years, 23 years, and in good years. Motown was good to me, and I was good to Motown, and but what people miss is that I started out as an independent artist. Right. My first album, Chemistry, was released on my own label, Chemistry Records, in the early 2000s. And I think that, I always, and throughout the years, I've always told people, even if you're signed to a label, you're an independent artist, because whatever the label ain't doing, you got to figure it out. You got to, nobody is going to carry the ball all the way down the field for you. You got to be involved and be engaged, or your team has to be involved and be engaged. Would I recommend or advise somebody to sign to a label? I think it's just up to the individual, and what is the type of deal that you're crafting, I don't think there's one size fits all. Even when I started, they were, you should own your own thing. It's like, nah, man, I went from being an independent to being everywhere.
Yeah. And
you get to put some money in your pocket, and take care of some things. And, so it was good for me. But I think that's up to the individual. Obviously, at this stage of my career, having been here for, doing this for 25 years, and I look at the landscape a little bit differently for myself. Equity is important. I've always written most of my, so publishing is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
But having equity in the masters going forward, and the fact that I'm still, that I consider myself to still be a viable, relevant artist who's still making music. You know what I'm saying? So let's bring it all in. Let's bring it home. And that's
learn a lot in the process of being signed that you can now apply to your independence now that you wouldn't have known had you not seen the machine work the way it works.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Our next question was sent in via email.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
No, that's what you're supposed to be doing. We want you to talk.
Look. All right.
Our next question was sent in via email from Tiny250 from Mobile, Alabama. Tiny asks, outside of being in the studio and on the road, what does Kim do in his spare time?
I'm a family man. I'm at home with my kids and my wife all the time. We just welcomed our fifth daughter, Rain. She's probably 4 or 5 weeks old.
4 or 5 weeks old. Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
So it's all about, being at home with the kids, making sure that everybody has what they need, and, trying to be a good husband. And, I left you, I got a load of laundry in there.
When you leave me, I go home.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm at home. Y'all see me out, we're on the south side of Georgia, so I'm in Target. I'm doing what everybody else is doing.
Chilling.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm sure people lose their mind when they see you in the stores out there.
No, I think I'm a little bit, under the radar. I don't have, a whole bunch of jewelry on and an entourage, and
not too flashy.
Not too flashy. By the time, and people look and they double take and they by the time they get it, a lot of times
I'm gone.
Miss
me.
Yeah.
How's your career changed when you think about from the very beginning with chemistry, like to now? Like, you know, obviously streaming wasn't prevalent. How has your journey and your career changed from then to now, from the beginning to now?
I mean, that's a great question, but it's, there's a lot. I think the business has changed. The business model has changed. Streaming has changed the game. I was selling CDs. I was selling them myself.
And we need vinyl from you too. We need more vinyl of your albums.
Yeah, we're doing. I'm doing that now. Yeah, I'm doing
good.
We got the live album anniversary is on vinyl.
On gold. I got down. That's a gold situation.
Yeah. I'm working on. Right now, I'm working on a jazz project with Robert Glasper. That'll
nice.
That'll be out later this year. And going forward, we'll make vinyl a part of our, the lexicon of how we move. But yeah, right. So physical product, that's different. That's gone away. I think that most of the major changes since I came into the game, most of the major changes are within me. Within me, I think the most important terrain that we have to navigate is our internal terrain, especially being on stage and in the public eye and managing that whole piece, ego and family and money and prestige and trying to remain humble and keeping yourself and being creative. I mean, it's a lot that goes into that, for an artist. And I'm probably more comfortable in my space, in my internal space, doing this than I have been in a long time. Social media has changed everything, right? So I've become more laser focused on my fans. The fans have always been important, but like now I can go,
straight to them,
directly to you. I think there's a duality to social media. There's a negative thing where you're looking at what everybody else is doing and comparing yourself to them. But then the other side is you don't have to compare yourself to anybody because you can only talk. I'm only rocking with the people who are rocking with me. Yeah. That's who I'm paying. That's who I'm paying most. Everybody's welcome. Right. But I'm focused on the people who are embracing, what I'm bringing to the table, and so the biggest change has been in me, and my hope is that it continues to change. People are like, oh, you different. It's like, yeah, I'm different. You should be different too.
Right.
So do you feel like when you say that, you mean like you feel like you have less ego now, or when you say the changes in you, what was the old you versus the new you?
I'm not talking about necessarily being arrogant.
Yeah.
I'm talking about putting your ego to the curb. You know what I'm saying? I mean, depending on the show, I ain't got a problem opening up. If you're paying me the same money.
Gotcha. Right.
That means I get to come and I'll do, right. I'll condense the set to the hits and get off stage. Yeah. Right. I don't have to win. Right? Gotcha. I'm only in competition with myself, and making sure that I'm bringing everything that I've been gifted to bring to any table or any room that I walk into.
That's good.
Yeah.
I feel like since I've heard your first song until the time I've heard the last song that you put out, I feel like there's been a bar that you set, and it's never went under that bar. I'm talking about from songwriting to the production to the chord changes to the way the records make you feel.
Thank you.
As it relates to your process, has it changed over the years, or is it the same process?
It has changed. I was before I got married, I was in Detroit. Most of my band was in Detroit. So I rehearsed in my house, in the basement. Everybody was local. We were all in the studio together. I write the songs and then bring the band in to rehearse, get the vibe, and then take it to the studio. I would never record at home. I may edit at home, but I would never be at home recording vocals. I never had an aspiration to have a studio in the house. I like the idea of going to this place.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And sitting down. That's what I fell in love with as a kid. It's like, dude, I'm going in here.
Going to the studio.
Going to the studio and be in this environment and working with high people who work at a very high level, engineers, and so I love doing that, you know. And then when I got to Georgia and the pandemic hit, and over the years it started to, you know, my process, it started to peel away, right? Like musicians who moved out of Detroit, you know, so now everybody's not local. So now I may have subs or I may have to do that. But then when I came to Georgia, and the studio I was working with was gone. You know, they sold it. Mom and Pop, they'd been doing it for however many years, and it was gone. And then the pandemic happened. So now, you know, I'm working with some great producers. So now everything is remote. You know, right? I send it to you, you send it to me. Like I don't have to be, you know, in the room. And now I got a vocal. You know, I'm cutting vocals, you know, downstairs and I always thought that would somehow. I was fearful that it would diminish, you know, my creativity or the output or the end result. But then what I understood was, what I came to understand was, everything starts with the song.
Yeah.
Right.
And everything has to come through my filter.
Yes.
Whether you're playing the drums in my house or whether you're playing Detroit, it's got to come through here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that allowed me some freedom to move, you know, a little bit differently and a little more fluently, right? So I can have multiple things happening at the same time. You know, I'm recording my vocal, you know, myself. You know, if I need somebody, I'll call somebody in. But I'm doing, you know, so I'm in a good place right now. And everything starts with the song. So at the end of the day, at the end of it, if when I came in here, I was vibing to my own music.
Right.
I'm like, you're enjoying your own song.
Music. I have to love it before it goes out.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ideas in my phone that's behind me that the world will never hear. They never stood up to, you know, and you know, of course, you know what I'm saying, right? So, you know, I have to love it first.
So who's your top songwriters? Like, who's your Mount Rushmore of songwriters?
I would have to think about that, and I'm embarrassed to say that I don't know who all the songwriters are. I just know the record.
Yeah.
And I don't look at I'm not looking at the
credits.
At the credits to see, you know, and especially in this day and age when it's, you know, and I'm like,
hard to find.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And in this day and age where, you know, and I write most of my, you know, 100% of most of my material. There are collaborations. But you know, so I don't, and then today, you know, if you like a song, it's 15 writers on the, you know what I'm saying? You know, which is, you get it done however you got to get it done. But you know, I don't know. I just know the songs that affect me, and whoever those writers are, you know, I think Jill Scott is, you know,
oh my God.
You know,
We love Jill.
It's incredible.
Incredible.
Marcia Ambrosius, her pen is incredible. You know, those are just a couple that come off the top of my head, and I know that they're writing their own stuff. But yeah, so I'm embarrassed. I don't.
Nothing to be embarrassed about. Not at all.
So in today's time, there's always this conversation about going independent. Everybody wants to be independent. Everybody is anti-label, right? You were signed to Motown for 23 years, but even before that, you were making your own records, and that's how you eventually got to Motown.
Yeah.
Back in those early days, can you explain what betting on yourself back then, when going indie wasn't as prevalent as it is now? What did betting on yourself look like back then?
No, Go on, I'm sorry.
And then on top of that, how did you get to the Motown situation, and how do you feel like that it helped enhance what you were already doing?
You know, and I haven't had this thought until today. That's a great question. On both ends of being independent in the beginning and being an independent now, I was independent by default. I was left with no choice.
Yeah.
Right? In the beginning, nobody was going to sign, you know, the music that I was, you know, right? It's like, you know, so I released it myself. You know, I financed it on American Express, credit card. My first album.
Thank you, Amex.
So thank you, American Express. Apparently they thought they had me. They thought that I was somebody with good. They had me confused with somebody else.
You gotta think until you make it.
Gave me a line of credit. Look, and I recorded my first album on with a revolving business $17,000 business line of credit from American Express, and and it was a risk, and I'm betting on myself, and I was like, you know what, but I had been trying to get a record deal for a long time, so I put, this is the thing, and it's still the truth today, although I don't know how I would do it today, but you put it in the hands of the people. I recorded the first album and put it in the hands of the people. Gave CDs away. They were in the barbershops, the beauty salons, go to restaurants and ask them to play it overhead, and if it doesn't work, if in the beginning it was like, and if it doesn't work, I'll just have the highest credit card bill in America, right? I'm paying bill. All I'm doing is paying bills anyway, right? So now why not pay some bills that are taking you in the direction where it is that you want to go?
Exactly.
Right.
Rise and Rhythm Cruise is back January 14th through the 18th, 2027, Martin Luther King Jr. Day weekend. Set sail from Miami aboard the Norwegian Jewel for 4 nights of music, inspiration, and the Bahamas. Mary, Kim, Fred Hammond, Shirley Caesar, King George, Madison Ryan Ward, actor and comedian Anthony Anderson, faith leaders Pastor Keon Henderson and Lady Shani Henderson, Willie Moore Jr., and more. Get your tickets now at riseandrhythmcruise.com.
Okay, so you were talking about, Tamone was asking about how it led to Motown. And I'm curious about that because there's a tenacity and a drive that makes you do that kind of self-promotion. Like you say, you're playing it, you were getting into barbershops, and I want to hear how it got to Motown, and then I'm going to dig a little deeper. So I'll let you finish.
Yeah, and at that time, my manager at that time, Toya Hankins, was like, she was like the perfect partner for me. She was local. She was a grinder. She had a network, in the community, and so. How did we get, and I put, and I understood in the beginning, I understood that if I'm making an album, that my album is going to be sitting next to, at that time, sitting next to Luther's, and Mary J. Blige, whoever else is out at the time. So it's like, the quality of it, it has to be good enough to sit up there, right? Yeah. And I don't know that we achieved. I don't know that we achieved that, but that was the mindset. At that time there were studios that would give you a barcode. You could buy their barcode to put on your albums. Like, no, I need my own barcode for because it's SoundScan, right? So I need my own barcode. So I figured, how do you do that? And it wasn't like I had an MBA. It was just like, what's the next right thing to do? You need a barcode. So how do you do that? And you figure out and you research on how to do that and put it on the record. So we got to Motown because we were selling product. And I was selling them on consignment, like all mom and pop record stores. Man, I love that. Shantanique's and Record Time and Record Town and Media Play and so I was literally like CDs come to my house, I box them up, we got consignment sheets, I'm walking them to the store, and it was an exhilarating time.
That's awesome,
right? And so every time it got so we're registering, right? So people are paying attention to what's happening, and they're wondering, who's this unsigned cat? Who's selling this, who's not moving a lot, but moving consistently. And moving without the force of a label behind you. And then we got a record on the radio. Love Calls is on the radio. And it was probably 8 months after we put Chemistry out on our own, Motown, came to the table. I think there were other labels that were, sniffing around, but Motown was the one who
Was that Kedar there at the time?
Kedar Massenburg. Yeah. Yep, that was Kedar's regime.
Yeah, so that whole element of seeking out what's bubbling, the scouting, is a little bit missing now. But I want to stay here. I want to dig a little deeper because songwriter to songwriter, I know that you don't write these kind of records. No matter how much.
Yeah, and Claude Kelly is one of my favorites.
Oh my God.
I know he's sitting there like.
Listen, respect to respect. Honestly, because we were playing this song before, you're jamming to it, which means there's a part that when you create it, you know all the things that it took to get there, right? And your songs are so much about love, but I know as a songwriter that there has to be a lot of struggle and pain and hardship to get to that place, right? And you have a story, bro. Like you have a survival story, a history that makes these songs more potent. And as much as you care to share, I would love for you to explain your history in Detroit and life. How do you get to the part where you can be celebrating love and survival and overcoming what was happening in your life beforehand? I know there's been some addiction in your life. I know there's been some homelessness. And that is what a lot of people in America are struggling with. Yeah. But you've certainly found a path. Yeah. So talk us through that.
Yeah. This year, July 23rd, I will have been sober for 36 years.
Wow.
And
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
And during the darkest periods of my life, music was a constant. It was always, the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel. Those chords, all the chords that I know, the few chords that I know, right, were discovered. Those songs those progressions on the first album. I was in the Detroit Rescue Mission playing on the piano. Writing Matter of Time. Figuring out, what it is. Yes, what I'm saying? And music started out, and I've always had an affinity for music, but it became, and I think from the beginning it was always therapeutic for me, right? I wasn't in the beginning. I wasn't necessarily. I didn't know anything about getting a record deal or being on stage necessarily. Survival. It was just like, dude, I go to this piano and I can sit here from sun up to sundown and not move, and I don't know how to play. I mean, there's something. Right? I'm just sitting down here like trying to, and it was a safe place for me, and that's where it started. So through that pain and through the, I'm gonna use this word. I think we use it too much today, but through the trauma of my life, there is a blessing in the storm.
Yes. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
Right? The struggle is good if you learn what it is that you're supposed to learn and you're paying attention to what's going on. There's so much to glean from it. Yeah. And when you're going through, it's like there are things that you're learning and you don't even know you're learning them. Yeah. Right? Perseverance and endurance and going without and being in pain and trying to still and trying to do the right thing anyway. So would you go back and change? I wouldn't go back and change anything, because I learned too much. I don't like, right? We don't learn nothing when we posting how fabulous our vacation was.
Right. Nothing was learned. Not a thing was learned.
Right. The successes are not what the successes have, the success is fruit of the labor.
There we go.
Right. Success is fruit of, of going through, I've learned the most beneficial lessons are from my failures and from my pain. So the first album, I'm talking about love, but it was aspirational. This is what I think
this should be.
Love should be.
Yeah.
This is what I want. this is what I'm looking for. This is what, from that place. And I didn't start trying to necessarily, I'm not the writer who, I was on the bus today and I saw this couple sharing this apple. No, man, it's me at the keyboard and like waiting for the miracle to happen.
Yeah.
Right? And it has become this body of work that is dedicated to relationship and dedicated to faith and dedicated to love. And I think that it is the universal two of the universal language, music and love, and in these sacred days that we're living in, I don't think that we can get enough of it. And I haven't deviated from, although, you look around and see, well, maybe I should, like, no, dude, this is your lane.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
this is where you live here, right? Yeah. You live here, and it's okay, I'm most authentic when I'm sitting down and I'm writing about love and relationship, and my wife, like, it changed. Getting married, like, changed the whole. I was scared. I'm like, okay, now what am I going to do? Right now that I got married, it's like, now what am I going to do?
Now I'm going to say,
but like, it's just so much. The writing is so much. The perspective is so much richer and so much. Much further beyond like where I was writing before, So
it keeps,
and it's all good,
getting more 3D, more dimensions to it.
Yeah.
Kim, you talk about that storm. I want to go back just to that period in your life, and you said the blessing was in the storm. Is there a song? Because you mentioned your faith as well. Was there a song that got you through that tough period of your life?
I think of my work. I think the song that speaks to that period of my life the most is Matter of Time. This is where I talk about being, in the mission. And like I was removed from, in my addiction, I really wasn't, prior to, I listened to a lot of Minneapolis, my man's t-shirts. Somebody over here got a Prince t-shirt on. I listened to a lot of Prince, a lot of the Minneapolis sound, and Michael. I was influenced by Anita Baker, when Anita, first the Rapture, all of that, the jazz records, Jerome.
Yes, sir.
Quincy Jones and the Back on the Block, Secret Garden. So all of those songs informed. I'm just a fan of like what I believe are like great songs. But then when I was in the darkest period of my life, I wasn't listening to music. It depressed me to listen to it because I wasn't dude. Right?
Looking back, do you think isolating yourself from other music, do you think that helped your creative process?
I think so. I think not being able to not having a command of music theory, not reading, not knowing the names of the chords. Not being informed in that way. I didn't have any rules to abide by.
And that's a gift within itself.
And it was like, dude, I can't learn how to read, I can't learn how to read music to save my life. It's just never, it's like, dude, I need to play something. Right? I need to make something happen with this, like right now. And it's funny, right? So, and I've always surrounded myself and have always been around musicians who were fluent, in music theory. My band, and I used to. If you got earlier, there was somebody who was videotaping me with my earlier bands and how I talked to the band. Go back to the
other thing.
The thing, like whatever, not that one, the other one, right? I went to Wayne State university to sit in, or I guess they call audit, a music theory class, right? And I was working music. I was in a wedding band. I was singing, in a choir in a church, and I was working, and I had a record on the radio. Love Calls had just came out. I was in the class. I got an F on the test, like the first test, the first exam. I got an F on, right? And I was like, I got a #1 record on the radio, and I'm okay. So right, circling back to your question, it's like, no, I'm okay with my skill set fits my career. It fits my musicality perfectly. And I'm grateful for that. Would I recommend, but I don't tell people not to learn music. Go learn, go to school. You got get all you can. Right, my children are musically inclined, and they all read. My 6-year-old reads better than I do. Right, and I'm gonna show you a video when we get done.
Your 6-year-old reads better music than you do.
Yeah, man. Look, she's right. All of them do. Right. So I understand the value of having it. I just haven't been able to embrace it myself.
Yeah,
and I'm grateful.
It stopped you, bro.
Right. Yeah.
It has not stopped you at all.
Yeah.
I've always been intrigued by the loyalty of your fan base.
Yeah.
Just like Phil mentioned earlier, I've spent many $1.
I got an extra receipts for mine. I'm gonna go ahead. What I need to say.
And the thing is like when you go to the shows, it's not because a lot of artists today they have to do festivals.
Yeah.
And people are sitting down on them at those festivals. They can't headline a show. They can't do shows by themselves. Yeah. I know since I've been in Nashville, you've been in Nashville, if not every year, every other year, and the people come out every single time. Yeah. They pack the place, you're looking around, people are singing every word, and not just the singles, but the album cuts as well. We all have our own reasons as to why we enjoy Kim and the amazing music that you've made. In your opinion, I want you to kind of flex a little bit on this one. Why do you think people have continued to support you almost 30 years later?
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. But I don't take it for granted. Yeah. I think that I'm writing the songs that I want to listen to when I'm driving. It's less of a song. It's a vibe.
Yeah. I feel that.
It's a vibe. It's like listening to a Sade. Like you drive from here to Los Angeles. Right, listening to, just vibing to this music. And I think that particularly early on, it was important for me, and it is today too, but it was important for me that we, when we got on stage, that we sound like the record. I tried not to record anything that I couldn't emulate that I couldn't get on stage and so forth.
Yeah.
And those early records, and I think those early records help with that because there was no production on the early. It was bass, drums, keys, saxophone, and guitar, and me. So when you come to the show, that's what you're gonna do. That's what it is. Yeah. So the show has been important to me. I think that there is a certain level of consistency in the songwriting and the delivery of the music.
Agreed.
And I wasn't putting an album out every other year.
Oh, so those gaps,
it was like 5 years between Chemistry and Two. Yeah. And then another 5, and I didn't plan it that way. It was just like, dude,
but you're living in between. So
I'm living in between.
Things to talk about.
It was like, so we weren't, rushing to market with music all the time. And my fans, they dig me and I dig them. And I'm not, and after, I'm of a certain age and demographic to where we're not, everybody's welcome. right? But I'm not making music for kids. I'm not making music for teenagers. Right? I'm making music for grown people. Right? You're making great music. You're making great music for grown people.
Yeah.
That first
They got some place to go.
You being humble though a little bit. You being humble a little bit because the truth is that you do a killer show. I'm gonna talk shit for you. You do a killer show. You got consistent hit records.
Yeah.
And you are singing to people. You're singing to lovers about love, not singing at them or trying to flex about look at me. You're singing to people about real life experiences and events and holidays and anniversaries and birthdays and all that kind of stuff. And the audience is not stupid, right?
Yeah.
They know when they've paid their money and it was kind of cute and it was a pageant thing, or when someone comes on stage and they're working and they're singing to my life.
Yeah.
And that's evident on video, on social media, when you go to the show. So the truth is that there's not a lot of good live music anymore. There's a lot of live music. There's not a lot of great live music. And people who know how to really do that. And you're one of the people that know how to do that right. That's why they keep on selling them shows.
I see that. Yeah.
I also feel like the songs, the content of the songs, right, is stuff that we can aspire to.
Right. Yeah. That matters.
I remember being 15 when that first album dropped in 2003. And we were in high school.
Yeah.
Just as we were talking about Usher and Destiny's Child and Beyonce, Kim was in that conversation too.
Exactly.
And as we've gotten older, that music has it's stuck with us over the years. It wasn't faddy. It wasn't a fad. You know, a lot of times artists will do stuff as flavor of the moment in that particular moment in time. And then it kind of gets, we always say age like milk. Your music is like, it literally gets, it literally gets better with time. And I feel like, I know personally when I'm at the shows, I'm like, if I ever did an album myself, I would want to approach it in the way that you've done it, in the way that a Floetry has done it, in the way that an Anita Baker has done it, because you all make music that might be for adults, but the children of those adults,
for sure.
we're listening to those records as well.
The children were made on those records.
Right. And I used to get mad or be not angry, but you know, feel a certain kind of way when somebody was, you know, 22, 23, 24, 25, you know, come up to me and say, I grew up listening to you.
You feel away.
He's looking at you, Simone, like I used to feel away.
But the truth of the matter is, if you're 25 years old, you know, when Love Calls came out, you know, you were, you know, them records came out, people, you know, these kids are just sitting in the back seat of their mother's car on the way.
Yeah.
You know, and then what's the one is Can't Stop Loving You.
Yeah.
Man, and that's something that resonates with, you know, the younger generation, even today. Yeah. And you know, so I'm grateful, you know, for all of that. We've had a good run. And you know.
And it don't stop.
I'm thinking about all of the albums over the year, from Chemistry in the Beginning to Rock With Me, which was your most recent number one, end of last year. Just real music, timeless. But I would love to ask you, who do you believe is carrying that torch for timeless, feel great music?
Who's up and coming and who's doing it? I would throw October London's name into that hat.
Okay.
You know, and there's so many of us who are still doing, you know,
of course.
Right? I mean, it's Anthony and Jill and, you know, Lettucey. I like her.
Love her.
Yep.
Jasmine Sullivan. Yeah.
I want to focus on the Kings though right now. The Kings. We're gonna call this the King of Crooners Special Edition with Kim.
Yeah.
I like that.
So Kim, we're gonna give you an option of two names. You tell us who is crowned the king in its respective bracket.
Okay.
I'll kick it off.
All right.
Luther Vandross or Teddy Pendergrass?
Luther.
She's like, period, next.
Tank or Joe?
Ooh.
As far as what?
Crooners.
Cronin.
Crooning.
I would say, I mean, both great vocalists, but I would say those records that resonate, that like, you know, I would say Joe.
Oh yeah.
Just on the strength of catalog.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky Day or Giveon?
Lucky Day.
He didn't even hesitate. Yeah. Babyface or Eric Benet?
Oh, Babyface.
That was okay. He was like, don't even ask me that stupid question.
But I mean, like as far as what though?
Cronin.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Croon it by singing.
Eric and Crone.
Eric Benet is like, dude, Eric Benet is the truth.
We have
Babyface like the great songwriter, producer, but like when you just talking about just flat-footed like singing, you gotta have to say Eric Benet.
Now we had Eric on the show. First of all, great personality, but he is the real deal through and through.
Yeah, that, like them cats, get on my nerves saying so good.
Maxwell or Music Soul Child?
Maxwell.
Oh, easy. What about Will Downing or Kenny Lattimore?
Kenny Lattimore.
Those are easy.
Right. So I done lost about 10 friends.
He's like, and this is why I stay in the cut. Because y'all messing up my money and my friendships. Now, I mean, the thing about is that when we ask the question, I personally feel like, I don't think it's dead or dying, but I do think that crooning is a specific art form, especially for black male singers, that I don't think gets celebrated enough, right? Yeah. I wish there were more. Yeah. I wish there were more that understood the power of singing love songs, singing ballads. It goes back generations, right? You're talking about, it goes back to Nat King Cole. It goes back many generations, but yeah, I feel like there's so much bravado and I'm too cool for school and shit talk, and there's not enough like when I think about Teddy Pendergrass, I remember he used to do those all women concerts, right? Where he was like, I'm not messing around. This is going to be a crooner show. Yeah. And I want more of that.
Yeah. And I don't know that I consider myself to necessarily be a crooner.
Really?
What are you talking about?
I'll accept it. But like like those people that you named, people that we've discussed, most of them can sing anything. Yeah. They can sing anybody's song, right? My gift is singing my songs.
Yeah.
Right? And it's singing my songs. It's articulating this emotion coupled with this music. Yeah. It's not me getting on stage and like doing a whole bunch of runs. It's the connection between the connection between the heart and the musicality, like all of that,
Would you consider yourself more a singer-songwriter than a crooner?
I would probably consider myself more a singer-songwriter.
Yeah. We were listening to your music earlier, and I started hearing a lot of the similarities to someone I love very much, Lionel Richie, who's a singer-songwriter.
Yeah, give me some of that Lionel money.
Some of that Lionel money.
Lionel. I have those songs, like, but don't nobody want to hear them songs.
What you mean don't nobody hear them songs?
I got them songs. I got songs. I have songs that are like right up in that lane, dude. Like, that's.
Oh, let's talk.
And you sing them songs live, like, you better sing Love Call.
Let's talk afterwards. I want to hear some of these songs.
It's like going to a Prince concert and he playing jazz. Y'all like that jazz? Like, man, you better play Purple Rain.
Right. We're on the topic of R&B crooners, right? And we recently lost the amazing Peabo Bryson.
Absolutely.
I would love to know just maybe a personal interaction you might have had with him if you hadn't met him before, and then two, just give us maybe one of your favorite Peabo Bryson songs, albums.
Impossible. Impossible. And I remember like hearing that when I was much younger, and just anytime that I heard a Peabo song, it was what struck me most was how powerful his voice was.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Right? I don't know what the, bass, tenor, baritone, I don't know like where he falls in the range.
Tenor.
But it's not but
His brother.
Right? He wasn't no chump.
Standing up in them vocals like that. I think we've been on shows together, but I never met him. I never, interacted with him. And, people jokingly call me the auntie whisperer. I say Peabo was the original auntie whisperer. My aunties were crazy about Peabo. Light skin and the fro. And then gonna sing to you real good too. My heart goes out to him and his family and friends.
You start to realize unfortunately, when someone passes, how big their career was. And oftentimes with Black artists, we don't celebrate them enough while they're here.
Yeah.
So just even a reflection of his records and the things that he's done. Obviously, everyone has their favorite song, Spill the Fire and Can You Stand the Rain, all that stuff. But Can You Stop the Rain, excuse me. But
that's a good one too.
That's a great one. Yeah. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Can You Stop the Rain is a crazy song.
Crazy. Had me in my room thinking I could hit them notes.
But you know what? But he also, but it's his musical legacy is also multi-generational.
Yeah.
Because of the Disney stuff.
Because of the Disney stuff, right?
Yeah. Like people be singing.
Those little kids. Or this, I can show you and then
forever.
Forever. That's forever.
Like forever.
Forever, ever.
Yeah, so he made his mark.
If you could build the ultimate male R&B tour, who would be on the ticket?
Male R&B tour,
including yourself.
That's out of my. Yeah.
Well, you're on that tour.
You know what? I don't even know. I don't know who I would. Right. This is a much deeper conversation. Right, because we're talking about being on stage, and like when I'm thinking about being on stage, and I'm in conversations with my team and creatives talking about like what's the next move, like touring. The landscape has changed so much.
It has,
and I don't. And then we're talking about connecting with your fans and the people who are, I don't know that I want to go out with anybody else.
Wow.
I want to have a room that's Kim's house.
Oh,
yeah, man.
Right. I want to go into a room, Kim's house, and you walk in there, it smells the vibe. You can smell the vibe.
Yeah.
Right. The music that's playing overhead is part of the thing. Right. Right. We're playing you're going to hear all the songs that are playing, are the Kim songs that we're not going to
do a live. Right. Don't ask.
Right.
Yeah.
And setting the tone. Like it's really, and I think what started to make me start to rethink how we go out on the road is the way the shows are done now. And there's nothing wrong with the way that they're done now, but they don't. But everybody's in the arenas, and you got a big lineup. I do think what I do like about what's happening now is that and I had this idea a long time ago, but like nobody wanted to play nice in the sandbox. You got a big tour, and everybody uses the same band. You have your principal,
right?
Yeah. Have your principal there. You know what I'm saying? You need your MD, you need your guitar player, whatever. You need your keyboard player, but like share the band, and then make it a.
Yes.
It don't have to be open and closer. Like you come out and do a song, then it's
don't
like
have to be Battle of the Bands.
Rat Pack, like
Yeah.
Vegas. You know what I mean? But now it's like for me, it's like we're crafting an experience that that will be suited to me and suited to my.
You say no one to play nice in the sandbox. I'm not trying to have you throw anyone under the bus, but the fans all from the outside, they're like, we want to see you with so and so. What happened? And they don't understand all the dynamics and the personalities and the teams and politics.
Right.
What are some of those obstacles you experienced? Because that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's just and I mean, this was years ago, but today I'm a different cat. I would dictate the way that I want to do it today. Okay. But the other party has to, if you want to go out on the road with whoever, and there's nobody in particular, that negotiation of, I gotta have this and I gotta, you're trying to get egos.
Yes.
Right? You're managing egos,
yes.
Right? And then, a lot of times it's not the principals that are talking, it's the it's the team that are talking to each other, right? And it's like, and so it's a lot to navigate, but people are doing it. People are doing it, and there's a benefit in coming together and making something wonderful happen.
Kim, you've been married, what, 7 years?
This year, we got married in 2019. So yeah, it'd be 7 years.
7. And 8 kids in total.
8 kids in total.
How do you balance in the midst of career, family? Like, how does that balance work? I'm just kidding.
That's a great question. That's a great question, right? My wife and I, we have, I had 2 before we got married. She had 1. We came together and we made 5. The younger kids are with us in the house. And it's a lot. We got a lot of good help, and there's a lot of love in the house, and we take it a day at a time. My wife is a planner, and she is on task about what needs to happen when, and I am not. Right?
Someone's got to be.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got to go to, right? I'm on the fly. She's reined me in, the relationship has reined me in somewhat, but I still got room for growth. And we are prayerful, and, it's like I was talking about, in business, like, there's no MBA in it. You just do the next right thing. And it's the same thing in relationship. You just do the next right thing, Do
any of your kids want to go in the music industry? And if so, do you support it?
Yeah, they are. The older ones, 2 of the older ones are thinking of, my oldest daughter wants to be in the music business. She's actually recorded. She's recorded and she writes, has a great aptitude for writing and production. The other kids are musically inclined. They study. The younger kids actually, take lessons and study. And if that's what they're supposed to be doing, it's not on me. I'll support them, but I'm not the, I would prefer that you not do it. But I'm not going to, discourage them from doing it, but, and I didn't have, and there's that yin and yang, that push and pull, because my parents were, it's not that they weren't supportive. They were doing what they thought was in the best interest of their son. My dad was an intellectual, he was an engineer, so they weren't, any performances that I had, in high school or my interest, they didn't nurture my musical interests. And I'm grateful for that, really, right? Because had they bought me a piano and said, you need to sit down here Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for a half an hour. Like I'd be
never did it. Yeah.
Selling insurance. Not that there's anything wrong with selling insurance. I'm just saying.
You would have rebelled against that in a different way. That makes sense.
So, so we'll see.
Your discography and biggest hits are about love. So I want to play a little game where we just ask you a few questions about love. It's called a Love Calls Lightning Round.
Love Calls Lightning Round. Okay.
Greatest love song ever.
Ever. I Can't Make You Love Me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Most underrated male vocalist.
The most underrated male vocalist. I don't know that. Underrated in what sense?
They just don't get the shine that they deserve for the amount of talent that they have.
I like Kim. Kim's like, what's the criteria here? I don't think about nothing. Right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go female singer you would crown as the ballad queen.
The ballad queen?
Yeah. What female singer?
Doesn't matter in any
genre.
Any time, any genre, anything.
The ballad queen, I would say Anita Baker.
Yes, yeah.
Best R&B album of all time. According to Kim.
Yeah, y'all gonna get me killed.
They come here and they play it too.
The best R&B album of all time.
Or one of.
You didn't say female or
No, it don't matter.
of all time. I don't know, man. And then what albums do you consider to be R&B?
Yeah.
Off the Wall.
Yeah. There we go.
Would you consider Thriller to be R&B? Would you consider it to be R&B?
Definitely. Pop.
Off the Wall?
Off the Wall is R&B.
Off the Wall is absolutely R&B. Off the Wall is definitely R&B.
R&B for sure.
But I also could have said, What's Going On?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
It's a great.
R&B?
Yeah, absolutely.
Most romantic lyric you've ever written.
Your love's like a river, girl. That's fine. Running right through me.
You were waiting for that moment. This guy.
Share my life. That's all I'm saying. It's like a river. That's mine. I'm just
Yo, Kim, you have to know he walks around and does this.
all the time.
Every day. Like, literally.
Every day.
Yeah, he literally, I'm like,
Feel me? You gonna get a your love's like a river every time.
every time. Yeah, every time.
That's a lyric. That's bars right there.
He gave it.
You heard it from the source. That's the one. That's all I'm saying.
Stand on that.
You know, that just made me think of a moment that I saw online a few weeks ago where this is when, you know, you make it, you know, when there's like a spoof of sorts. But I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw not Carlton Banks.
Oh, yeah.
Yo.
Your love's like a river, girl. Like a river, girl. Like a river, girl. Like a river, girl. Share my life. Share. Hey, girl.
Scroll on your timeline. I'm sure you're on Instagram or TikTok and you see it. What did you think when you first saw this clip?
It's funny. They say imitation is the highest form.
That's the highest form of flattery.
They talk about you, then you must be doing all right. You know, that's funny, man. That dude is funny. I used to, when I came out, and some of the critics, when I was listening to what critics said, you know, and they say that, you know, Kim is a whiner. You know, he's whining, you know, and I tell the critics, yeah, I'm whining all the way to the bank. That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
All the way to the bank, bro. All the way to the bank.
Right.
All the way to the bank, bro. Let's go. But it's interesting because now with social media, right?
Right.
I'm gonna say these kids, I don't know who, everyone's doing it. You know, you do a song with this intention 23 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And then someone online will pick 2 lines of your song, like that right there, or just a part that you didn't think was a memorable moment. One little ad lib or the end of the song, and it gives the music a whole new life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what this is a good example of. Is like you're minding your business, not even realizing that people are processing it like that.
And it's keeping the music alive.
I was asking you how you feel about that, because now technology is a big part of how people get this music, and as you see, technology helps spread the word. Are you a fan of the future of music right now?
Absolutely. I think that you know, there's so many places for music to live. There's so many places for your song, for your creation to have a moment.
Yeah.
You know, and it can be beyond what your intention. You don't know where it's going. You don't know how God's going to bless you, right? We be looking at one. We be looking down this, you know, down this lane, and there are all these other opportunities. So I you know, the technology is here. So you know, you have to, you know, embrace it and figure out how to move along with it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that. You know, people were talking about AI. I think AI is a great tool. I haven't used it myself, not yet, but like, you know, there was a time that I didn't use a lot of the stuff that we're using today. And I don't think that, and I listen to a lot of the, there's a lot of stuff, the AI stuff, man, and listen to this stuff, and like it's it's really good.
That's what I'm saying. It's really good.
No, but it's really good.
Yeah,
really good.
It's perfect. It's like
You saying like
it's
too
like
perfect?
it's perfect. It's like not, and you can't you can't you can't. It's perfect, but you don't connect to it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, this is incredible, right? I mean, I got clips on my phone. It's like, it's incredible. It's like, but there's no connection there.
Yeah.
Right. There's no connection there. And the connection is the humanness of it. And I'm all for perfection in recordings. That's what I aim for. But it's the creation itself. It has to come from my hope is that it means something. It has to mean something to me.
That makes sense.
The AI, it becomes it's disposable.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially if it's not used as just a tool.
Yeah.
And because I've used AI.
Yeah.
It's the illusion of perfection, because once you split it open, it's a bunch of noise that's coming together to make that perfection.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And so I think part of the reason why people don't feel it is because of that, because it's just the illusion of perfection. Not so much
Look, once I find out how to do them backgrounds, once I find out how to stack the AI background,
Night.
find somebody that sound like me. Give me one of them. You know what I'm saying?
You could do that right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
possible.
out there.
That's
It's out there for sure.
Yeah.
How does faith affect your life? But really in this question is your music. How much is faith a part of Kem today?
My faith is everything. It's everything. It's not separate from my music. My music is merely a platform. And if y'all been to the show, you've seen people or heard people go to the show. My music is really a platform to talk about God.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all it is. This is the vehicle. That brings a lot of people joy, and the trappings of success. But my music is a platform for my testimony. My music is my career is. My life is, my marriage, my kids, it is, I used to smoke crack and do cocaine in the throes of addiction and take people's money and in and out of jail. And now I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing this. So when I'm doing this, I'm gonna tell you about that.
Yeah.
For the next person who's coming up, and letting God get the glory out of my life, and let Him continue to unfold it in any way, that He sees fit. Because that's really, at the end of the day, man, that's really all it's about. That's it.
Yeah.
What else are we doing?
What else are we doing? That's the ministry of it, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's not, right? I've had a taste of everything that I've ever thought I wanted. And none of it fulfills. None of it satisfies. And it's not somebody who's just talking like, because it sounds like something good to say.
Yeah.
Without God in my life, there is nothing. I'm nothing without Him. And you don't have to be, let me frame this another way. Most Christians have a secular job.
True.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Right? And we make secular a bad word, and it's not. Secular just means that you're not an active. Well, that's the appearance of what it means. But if you're a believer, you're in ministry no matter where you work at or where you are, or where you show up.
That light.
It's all service. Yeah.
Right. So,
I don't know who made this chair, Kim. I don't know who made this chair. You know, I don't know what their beliefs are. But again, but if you're that light, if you're that person and that believer in that space of work, wherever you work at the post office, you work at wherever you work, be that light. Be that light. You don't have, you're a Christian, show it, demonstrate it.
I'm asking a question because we have a TV and film producer on the panel here, if you will. Your story is so powerful, and the music that goes along with your story is so powerful. Have you thought about turning it into film? Or I'm seeing a lot now of episodic television,
or theater,
right? Or theater, because there's so many ups and downs, and of course the connecting thing is the love and the music that's tying it all together. I would just love to see people experience all this come to life, because you are an example.
Yeah, that's coming.
It's coming?
Yeah, we're working on it.
All right.
Yeah.
All of the above. He's like TV, film, and theater. Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
For sure.
All right.
I would love to know, just because drug abuse, it affects a lot of different nationalities, right? But Black men, I think we've all seen examples of it. And I would love to know, for someone that might be watching this, that might be dealing with an addiction of any kind, what would you say to them to encourage them to maybe try to find the light at the end of the darkness?
That process has to start with the individual.
Yeah.
You have to come to a place, you have to come to the end of yourself. People talk about being sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have to come to a place where you're sick of yourself. Only the individual can make that decision. Some of the things that I would say to try to help nudge that along, because there's nothing, unless a person is willing to change, you don't have any control over their behavior. You can't make somebody get clean. But when you're ready, there's a solution. There is a way out. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. When you're done doing it your way, there is a way out. There is another option. Your failures are not final. And that's for everybody. Yeah. And that's not just people who are dealing with addiction, no matter what it is, right? It's like, dude, when you get tired of doing this, there's a way out. If you don't die out here first, right? There's definitely a way out. And now in this day and age, not to minimize, there's just so many, there's so many vehicles and so much information,
resources,
that's out here. And it really is, my struggle with addiction was, ultimately at the end of the day, you have to learn how to face yourself. And deal with yourself and with what's going on, in your life. Navigating that internal space is everything. And and that's why letting people know about my struggles is important to me, because in most cases, I'm not gonna be there to have a conversation with anybody. But when you scroll across your timeline and you see and you read up and you dig a little deeper into what's going on with me, and you see that, when you're ready, that's there for you. So, and God bless them. God bless them.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You're inspiring, bro.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. You're inspiring. Damn it. I feel like I'm gonna ask you I'm gonna get some romance tips from the kings of R&B, right? We're in a digital world right now, so everything I feel like is on your phones, on your computers, right? But romance still wins, right? You've been married for 7 years now almost, so you clearly you know what you're doing. Do you believe in handwritten notes? do you believe in handwritten love notes? Is that a thing?
Yes, handwritten love notes. Yes, that's cool. But you have to. I mean, but you can't. You can't. So, right. So, romantic love. So, love 101.
Love 101 with Cam. Let's go.
Love 101. You can't. It has to be specific to the person that you're with.
Okay.
So yeah, our love notes in fashion, you write a hand note, right? But if the person you're writing them to, if that's not their language, then that don't mean nothing to them.
Right, true.
Right. So you got to know, right? You got to know what that language is. You know, that language may be affection.
Yeah.
You know, that language may be, you know, words of
affirmation.
And making sure that you understand the other person's. I have to make sure that I understand my wife's love language, and not, because my love language is the way that I show my love to people, the people in my life who I care about, is I give them gifts. You know, I buy them, I get them, I get them gifts. But that ain't my wife's love language. Her love language is not receiving gifts. Right. So she get the little blue block, the little Tiffany box. Right. No, her love, one of her love language is spending time. She wants to spend time.
Yeah.
Right? Let's go spend some time together. So yeah, I would write handwritten notes. Yeah, that's
so you gotta know you gotta know what it is, and then lean in.
Yeah, I feel like reading your lyrics. I feel like you would write poetry. Are you a poetry writer?
No.
Not at all?
The songs, if you consider the songs poetry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm not.
You're not going to sit down and just...
I'm not prolific like, my writing comes when I'm sitting at the keyboard.
Okay. Yeah, it all comes out at that point?
Yeah.
There's probably some love songs that we ain't never heard from you that are probably inspired by love that... It's all poetry.
Yeah, I see that.
So it's definitely all poetry.
Yeah, I see that.
If you remove the music and you read it and it makes sense, then it's poetry.
Yeah.
So you're a poet, bro.
Okay, I receive that.
If you say so.
It's about that time for our segment, the Black Excellence Award.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Yeah, man.
Do you want to give them the rundown?
I'm happy to do this. The Esther Roll Black Excellence Award. Esther Roll there's a meaning behind this. We discovered when we first put the show together that Esther Roll had a gospel album.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
Garden of My Mind.
Garden of My Mind. And that got us to talking about the fact that there's so many Black influential people that don't get their flowers while they're here, and we don't even know all the things they did.
Okay.
So we could not do a show and have this platform without taking some time to nominate and honor Black entertainers or leaders that we feel like deserve the award for their excellence that may not have always gotten. Mm-hmm. So we know that there's the regulars that always get praise, but this is about the ones that you're like, yo, how come no one's talking about fill in the blank?
Okay.
They need to be honored. That's the Esther Roll Black Excellence Award, otherwise known as the Irby. You are now officially part of the panel. Everyone will nominate somebody, including you.
Okay.
We'll give you some time to think. And then at the end we'll vote. And Phil, I'll let you run the voting system. But that's the essence of it. The floor is officially open.
I'll kick it off this week. We talked about him briefly earlier in the conversation. An amazing executive who inspired me when I was an executive. He's also a fraternity brother, Tamone. Okay. Sade, what up to the bros? We're talking about Kedar Massenburg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With Kedar, obviously, you work with Kedar, and then the work he's done with India Ari and Erykah Badu and D'Angelo and Chico DeBarge. I mean, the list. But I don't feel like he's one of those executives when we talk about some of the greats and people who contributed a lot. He doesn't always come up in that conversation. So my nomination this week, Kedar Massenburg.
I like that.
Nice.
That's a good one. I've been listening to a lot of 70s music as of late. And some of the male groups from that time that had impeccable songs, but also great performances. And I've just been on a stylistics tip.
Oh, wow.
Lately. I just love, it's the melodies. By golly, wow, you are everything. And I sometimes when we talk about crooners and all that stuff, we miss all of those impactful groups. So I'm nominating the Stylistics.
Wow.
I was sitting here thinking about artists that represents the soundtrack of love and relationships in a certain period of time. And Kim being one of them. But the other one that I was thinking about is Keith Sweat. And so I want to nominate Keith Sweat.
So recently I was one of my famous rabbit holes, going down the rabbit hole of Jaheim. And when I think of just coming into this conversation today, like, Kim, your voice is super distinctive. Like it's a Kim record when it comes on the radio. I feel like that's the same thing with Jaheim. Like his voice, he was likened to Luther Vandross early on, but he eventually came into his own. And I feel like his first few albums still not to this day. So I'm gonna put Jaheim on the table this week.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, y'all need to send me this earlier.
Okay. This is not in the pre-production package.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
First thing that comes to mind, yeah.
I know somebody that you work with that I would nominate, but I'm not going to do that.
Who?
It's your vote.
Who? Tell me.
Your attorney.
Who's your attorney?
Denise Brown.
Oh.
Denise Brown has been my attorney. That's a good nomination. Yeah, maybe you should give me a discount.
Smart move.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Denise Brown has been my attorney for my duration.
Wow.
In the music business.
And was a record executive for years before that. I mean, just
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner.
Yeah.
Yeah. She represented Prince at one time.
Yes.
A wealth of knowledge, a great human being.
Yeah.
You know, she's got a seminary degree.
Yeah.
You know, anytime we have she used to be, you know, local to where we are now. And, you know, we have babies or we have something going on or somebody's sick, you know, she's bringing food over to the house.
That's family at that point.
She married us. Yeah, she officiated my wedding. You know, can't say enough good things about Denise. Yeah, that's a good plug. I appreciate that.
Yeah, see, that's what we do. Teamwork over here, Kim.
Teamwork.
Just to recap.
Good save. Yeah. That's good. Good save. Good alley-oop.
Just to recap, our nominees this week: Kedar Massenburg, the Stylistics, Keith Sweat, Jaheim, and Denise Brown.
Okay, this is gonna be different.
Actually, Dr. Denise Brown.
Dr. Denise Brown.
Yeah.
Denise Brown. So this first round, you can raise your hands for as many people as you believe in. If there's a tie, we'll do a tiebreaker, but it's majority rules here. So let's see how this goes.
Kedar Massenburg.
Yeah.
Oh, it's unanimous. Okay, 5 hands up. Stylistics.
That's it, ain't it?
Right.
Yeah. That's C, 3 out of 5. Keith Sweat. 2 out of 5. Keith, remember that when you come on the show?
Right.
Jaheim.
Yeah, I'm
not mad at you.
I'm
3 out of 5. Okay. And Denise Brown, Dr. Denise Brown.
As a future attorney.
4 out of 5.
He's a future attorney.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. She's a legend. All right, looks like Kedar Massenburg's our winner this week.
Yeah.
I
think that's fair.
Yeah. Congrats to Kedar. You are the winner of the Black Excellence Award.
Yes. Kim, Mr. Kim, you are super unique and special as it pertains to Black culture. And I hope you know that. I hope you know that you are emulated and respected for the kind of business person and artist that you have been and continue to be. You're always welcome to come back and talk about whatever's happening new, whatever you want to. If you just want to get something off your chest, you want to cuss somebody out, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of camera crew here.
All want to come preach the word.
All want to come drop some gems.
You know,
you are welcome here. We sound crazy. Think about this while we wrap this up. Think about what song, and it could be yours or any song that comes to mind. If you're producing this show, what song would end this entire conversation?
This conversation?
Yes.
Golden.
Okay.
Jill Scott?
Jill Scott.
I like that.
Wow.
Living my life
I like that. I'm living my life like it's golden.
Yes, sir.
We love it. Make sure you follow us on all platforms at We Sound Crazy and WeSoundCrazy.com. And shameless plug right here. Kim is actually going to be on my cruise, Rise and Rhythm Cruise, 2027 MLK weekend, riseandrhythmcruise.com for more details, but he's going to be there performing live. So
Y'all sent the money already?
yeah. You sent that bread yet? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll see you on Rise.
Come on, when the wire hit, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Man, I appreciate you, Kim. This has been an honor.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
More
Thank you.
continued success, and just thank you. And like I said, welcome here anytime.
Anytime.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Living my life like it's golden. How we going out of here? We're gonna dance our way out of here. Until next time, we sound crazy, and we out of here. Peace.
Peace.
We sound crazy.